Hey, hello everyone. This is Harold, and in this video, I'm going to, tell a little bit about how I became the bird watcher that I am today. If you follow me on my channel, if you've seen my other videos, you know that I'm quite an enthusiastic bird watcher, but that that hasn't always been the case. And so in this video, I'm going to tell a little bit about the story on how I became the bird watcher that I am today. So actually, it all started when I was a child. I was interested in birds, but not when I used to live with my parents, they knew a little bit about birds, not too much, but we during our holidays we often went to one of the islands of the Netherlands, Terschelling, and we had a caravan over there, a wooden house. I don't know the English name, but and we often took our bicycles, and we did a lot of biking on the island. And when we were out, with my sister and my parents, my father or my mother, there's a hen harrier, or there's some other type of bird, but I was always interested in nature and birds, but not always trying to identify every single species. So throughout the years, I became more and more interested in nature, and of course the tropics. I started traveling when I was 23 to various tropical countries. And then and during these holidays, I started participating in bird watching trips, organized by some local bird watcher. And then I started to become more interested in bird watching, and try to keep all the species that I saw. However, when I came home, they stopped, and when I was in the Netherlands, I wasn't really interested in identifying all the species that I saw here. So in 2016, I decided to quit my job and change my life, and follow my heart, because my heart has always been the tropics and nature. And so in 2016, just after a year, I quit my job. I decided to start studying again. I started studying full-time forest and nature management. And in the first year of my study, there was a young guy in my class. His name is Rick, and he was a very enthusiastic bird watcher. And during classes, we learned a little bit. We learned. I learned some more about the birds here in the Netherlands, and their habitat, and behavior, and that kind of things. And he was the very enthusiastic bird watcher in my class. Actually, during the first year of my study, he was one of the bird watchers of the university. And I remember I always saw him with his binoculars. Wherever we went on a excursion or something, on a field trip to do some field work. He always took his binoculars, and he said, "Oh, there's a linnet, or there's a reed bunting, or whatever." And this triggered something in me. I became more and more interested, and I didn't have any binoculars by the time, or any bird identification book or something. And then I started discovering various websites. Here in the Netherlands, we have waarneming.nl. It's a very popular website, not only for for putting in your bird observations for everything: mammals, plants, insects, flies, you name it, fish. So this was a website that I started following because these kind of websites are very handy to get to know various birds and the behavior and where to find them and the names and how they look like and pictures. And so I think it was in the second year that I decided to buy some good quality pair of binoculars. Actually, during my study, there were, once a year there was a promotion of of an organization in the Netherlands. It's called the Vogelbescherming, and they came to my university to offer some binoculars for the students with a discount. And I started thinking, okay, maybe if I'm going to be a serious enthusiastic birdwatcher, I want to have a good pair of binoculars. And the binoculars they offered at this at my university from the organization, they were pretty good, but not really high-end binoculars. So I started looking around, and then I found in a local photography and binocular shop, I found a good pair of binoculars. It's this one. It's the brand is Swarovski, and this is a high-end brand of binoculars. However, I had some savings, and I decided, okay, maybe I can buy a good pair of binoculars. And actually, this one was an offer. It used to be I think it used to be a showroom model, and they offered it for I think half the price. So I think this was a pretty good deal. So I decided to buy it. And if you start doing some bird watching, and if you get interested in bird watching, you try to get to know all the different species that are present in your neighborhood, in your surroundings, and get to know them and see them as many as possible. Try to identify them by sound, by plumage, and this is actually the way I started to learn a lot of bird species. And I was always looking on this website, Waarneming, to see if there were some special birds observed in my where I live. So this was a good way to get to know the birds and try to identify them and see them as much as possible. That is really important to do some proper identification on birds, because some species can be really hard to identify. So when I bought this binoculars, I went out all the time when the weather was good, obviously, and I started to meet some other bird watchers here in where I in the area where I used to go bird watching, and they pointed out birds that I wasn't familiar with, and then after actually 2 years ago, I decided to buy a telescope, a spotting scope. It's also a Swarovski brand. It's a high-end telescope, but after a couple of years of bird watching, I knew this was going to be something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So that's why I decided to invest in a spotting scope. And if you can have the best quality of binoculars and the best quality of spotting scope, but if you are unable to identify birds, then then a good pair of binoculars or a spotting scope is of no use. You have to you have to learn about different plumages of birds and how to identify them by, because they molt all the time during the year. They change their feathers and they migrate, obviously, and then throughout the year you have different kinds of bird species. Some of them look similar than species that you can see in summer, so that is also a challenge. And but it is also a when you learn about birds and become a better bird watcher through time, you often make mistakes, identification mistakes, and that's also something that you learn from. I also made mistakes, but that's what happens to even the best bird watchers. Still make identification mistakes, and that's okay. That's part of the it's part of the game, so to speak. So I came today to the one of my favorite bird watching spots here, Vruchtenrijkerwaard, and because I had some time today, and actually this morning there was some interesting bird activity going on here in my city. There was a report of some glossy ibises flying over. And there was also, actually the same guy also reported a red-footed falcon flying over. So those are quite rare bird species here in the area. Actually, in the country, in the Netherlands where I live. But I came to check if I could, see some special bird species. But no, not the ibises or not the red-footed falcon. However, I saw some new species that I hadn't seen this year. As a bird watcher, you always try to keep your lists up to date. Of course, your life list, how many birds you've seen in your life, and then there's also the year list, month list, week list, and day list. Well, I don't really keep an eye on my week list or day list. That's to see if you have seen specific bird species like every week of the year, and some bird species keep track of that list also on the day list to see how many bird species they've seen every day of the year. Sorry, there was a scooter making some noise. But I am keeping my year list. So actually today I saw 2 new species for my year list. Well, at least for the city where I live in, for Zwolle. I saw a wood sandpiper. I've seen it actually a couple of weeks ago, but not in my city, not in Zwolle. So that one is new for the year list of my city. And I also saw a European honey buzzard flying over, and that was actually a very nice sighting, because I haven't seen one in I think in 2 years, actually in the Netherlands. So that was quite a nice observation. And while I was looking at the wood sandpiper, I think I saw a Temming stint, and that is also a rare, pretty rare species for Zwolle, for my city. Not for the Netherlands, but for my city, it is quite rare. I am not 100% sure, because it was quite far away. But I saw this little stint that was smaller than a common sandpiper. It was about the size of a little ringed plover, and it had a white belly, and it had some markings on the chest, and it was very obvious that the foraging behavior was quite different than other stints and sandpipers. It was foraging in a quite, easy and slow way. So that is a good how do you call it? That's a good mark or a good ID mark. You know, that's a one of the characteristics of a temming stint, that it forages in a slow or easy way. So I think I just saw a temming stint. So that would be the third new species for this year for my city. And you know, like I've said, as a bird watcher, no matter how experienced you are, you always make mistakes. And yeah, I think I'm done bird watching here. I'm going home, and I have to pick up my son from school. So bird watching, my bird watching trip here is over. I think that's all what I wanted to tell about how I became the bird watcher that I am today. Actually, I'm following a bird watching or a birding course online. It's a birding course by the Cornell Lab of University of Ornithology. It's a very well-known organization. It's based in the United States, I think, and they're very well known for their, you know, they have their website eBird, and it's been used pretty much all over the world. Not so much here in Europe, but very much in the United States. And they had this course of bird biology. So I have, you know, I'm doing this course. It's self-paced. And I had to buy this book on bird biology. It's very interesting. It's a very high-level course. You know, you learn all about plumages and bird biology and foraging behavior and how do you call it? Nomenclature. All the different species, how they are divided into families and genuses, and so that's very interesting. That's what I'm following now. That's what I'm doing now, and I think I'm going to make some more videos about that in the near future, about this course and what I've learned, and this is also part of how to become a better bird watcher and learn all about birds and their biology and behavior and habitat and you know, that kind of stuff. That's what I'm interested in right now, and I think that's it for now. Like I've said, I'm going home. I'm going to pick up my son from school, and so that's it. Hope you like my video. Hope you like my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't done that already. Hit the notification bell so you will be notified every time I upload a new video. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.